Okay, Erica, this is a really passionate topic of mine. Maybe I'm an idealist. I think I am probably. But there's this notion that the average tenure of a CMO is 2 to 3 years, right? And to that, I'm like, BS, right? Because it's really hard, I think, to actually, in most cases, CMOs are coming in to a situation that's already been running. They need to assess what's going on, create a vision, create a strategy, implement that. You're going to be really hard pressed to do much in 2 years. To actually see something through 3 years, kind of. But then what is this, like, peace, I'm out, right? It doesn't make sense, right? So when we've been working together, you have this really cool framework. I tend to think it's because of the misaligned expectations between the CMOs and their leadership and how they come in and set that. I'd love for you to share that framework.
Right. So you're right that a lot of CMOs are in and out of jobs. And so I did some quick research on why that is. When a CMO fit does not work out, what is going wrong? And dozens of people have weighed in, and really what it nets down is this framework of alignment. And so these are the 5 things that need to be aligned are
I love this.
expectations from CEO or the board, responsibilities of the CMO, authority of the CMO, resources that they have to achieve their mandate, and their incentives. So if one or more of these things are out of alignment, then we're going to have performance issues. We're going to have disappointed CEOs. We're going to have frustrated CMOs. We're going to have situations where the clarity of the role is not defined, and the impact is not as strong as it could be.
So give us an example maybe of 1 or 2 scenarios of how this actually manifests.
Sure. So a CEO could say, I really want that CMO to drive growth, but then then the CMO has no resources to do that, and they end up getting called into fire drill type of situations of make this thing from blue to green or things like that. The other thing is that incentives really drive how we behave. And so if, for instance, a CEO wants to drive sales, but the CMO does not share a sales goal with the sales leader, especially in B2B companies, then we've got a misalignment there.
Interesting. And then how do you think, like, often we, the royal we of marketing leaders sometimes get put into roles where there's legacy, whether it's people, technology. How do you think that plays into it? And especially more the technology side, like, because there's so much attached to that.
Right. So often a CMO will come in and there is this legacy marketing tech stack. And, often what we see is that there are people attached to that as well. And so, we've decided to make this investment in this technology. So we have, 5 people in marketing automation, and the CMO can come in and say, actually, there's this other tool that we could use. And maybe we don't need those 5 people. Maybe we only need 1 person. And so this, you have legacy people and legacy technology.
So it's really intertwined, right? And I think as you and I found out, and even doing some of these workshops with CMOs, that often when we inherit something, it's even harder because we don't know like what deals were set up or the relationships, but at the same time it's the obligation of the leader to be like, hey, I don't think that this is right, and more often than not we do have the power to make change. There you have it. So it's expectations, responsibilities, authority, resources, and incentives. Use them.